the onboarding of new staff. So very excited to be here. I've been with Rush this time for about 3.5 years. I started pre-COVID in the professional nursing practice department, but I'm what we call a boomerang at Rush. I was here in the early 90s, from 90 to 95, as a clinical nurse specialist in the pediatric intensive care unit. And I went away, but I came back because one of my taglines is that every nurse should have the opportunity to work even a short period of their time in their career at Rush, because Rush, in my mind, is the best place to practice as a nurse, to feel the importance of professional collaboration, and to be a leader. So again, I'm very glad to be back here at Rush and happy to talk with you today.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Quincy Stanley. I'm the Vice President of Hospital Operations Support Services, which consists of multiple departments, multiple non-clinical departments, and just to name a few, EVS, Environmental Services, Food Services, Security, Guest Relations, Patient Transport, and Linen, as well as Occupational Safety. I've been at Rush for roughly 5 years, spent a little bit of time in the supply chain department as well, but extremely excited to be here. Prior to coming to Rush, I spent a little time at the University of Chicago Medicine and Mercy Hospital here in Chicago. And prior to healthcare, I was in the retail industry for roughly 11 years. And I can tell you that was the best transition of my life. Not only taking the skills and the knowledge that I brought from the retail industry over into healthcare, but just that sense of purpose of being able to take care of someone and provide services to patients is really fulfilling. So again, happy to be here and extremely excited to share why it's so great to work here at Rush.
Thanks, Quincy. Hi, Ryan Nagdeman, AVP Marketing Communications. And thank you, Lizzie and Chicago Sun-Times, for the partnership. And we've been telling some really nice stories about staff working at Rush, and we view this as an opportunity to hear from people who are looking for new employees and constantly trying to find great new employees to join us at Rush. And so this is a great event. We're excited to have this webinar today. I'm an AVP Marketing Communications. I've been with Rush for about 8 years in various roles in marketing and communications across the university and the hospital, working to really bring people to Rush, whether it's for employment, patient care. Rush University, we have 30 academic programs. It's all about storytelling and giving people something that motivates them to choose us. And so excited to be here and participate on this panel. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Ryan, if we can stick with you for a bit, can you tell us a little bit more about Rush for people who may not be as familiar with the intricacies of the organization?
Yeah, and thank you. Your intro was spot on. And congratulations. I didn't know that about you yet. You're a mom and you had your baby here at Rush. That's fantastic. Really, Rush as a whole, the system, it's academic health systems, three hospitals here in Chicago, Oak Park, Aurora, as I mentioned, a health sciences university with 30 plus programs, a broad ambulatory network. And I hope it's coming through. We're just an incredibly proud group, mission-driven team, focused, everything is about improving health and focused on the patient, including the training programs I mentioned. And so, we're an organization, we talk a lot about excellence, that we make that the daily standard. We're a trusted clinical authority. We're known in Chicago. We're known across the planet, certainly, and also recognized for what we're doing in the community. And so really very importantly, we differentiate because of our focus on dismantling barriers to health and promoting health equity. And so there's a lot happening here. Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about why people say that they've joined the Rush team or stay with Rush for so many years as employees? Yeah,
right from the data in our employee surveys, it's about this supportive environment. I come to Rush, but I feel supported. I can learn and grow. There's career opportunities. I'm on my second job at Rush. I didn't start in this role, so I had an opportunity to evolve a little bit. And we have competitive benefits. I think the team work is something that I believe you'll see here as Quincy and Janet and I talk through our experience. We're just as strong as the team, and so we all are part of just a really positive impact. We all contribute to the outcome, whether we are frontline or supporting the frontline, and we have a hand in what happens, improving lives of the people we treat, the families, the community. That's what Rush is about, and why people, when they come here for a job, but they find these value-added moments.
Thank you, Brian. Janet, can you tell us a little bit about why nurses specifically want to come work at Rush? Janet, I think you might be muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Lizzie. Again, I think the strongest reason that nurses come to work at Rush is because of the reputation that Rush has in the industry as being an excellent place for nurses to work. We were really ranked one of the best places in the country for nursing. And I can tell you from attending the general nursing orientation, when you ask each of the nurses where they're from and why they're coming to Rush, they say, I'm coming to the Midwest. I've asked where's the best place to work in Chicago, and they hear the name Rush. So I think our reputation is really outstanding for nursing. And as I alluded to before, I think the reason it's outstanding is we've really built a model for nursing where nurses are leaders at the bedside. We have a strong interprofessional team. We do strong collaboration, and nurses really step up at the front lines using their voices in the care of patients and families. It's an environment that really supports that. So I think that's one of our major reasons. Second thing is we have a really strong history of innovative leadership at Rush, starting with Dr. Luther Chrisman, who was our original Chief Nursing Officer and Dean of the Rush College of Nursing. And Luther really had a vision of putting highly educated professional nurses at the bedside. And over 96% of our nurses have a baseline entry of BSN, and about 25% of our nurses have master's and or doctorates working at the bedside. So we have a highly skilled, highly educated, and professional staff right at our bedside, which is really an incredible piece of the vision that Luther set out so many, many years ago. The other thing that I think is really important is our academic connection with the College of Nursing. And a lot of our staff come to Rush with the goal of continuing their education and continuing their professional development. At Rush, about 11 of our programs are in the top 10 of the U.S. News and World Report rankings for colleges. Our DNP program, our college DNP program for nursing, is the #1 program in the country. Again, we have a generous tuition reimbursement. Our students, our tuition is prepaid for our staff who choose to go to Rush. Again, it's the college of choice. We also have a lot of extensive programs in place to support professional development of nurses, including certification. We have over 50% of our nurses professionally certified here because we offer not only reimbursement and review courses, but we also offer a bonus for nurses who want to, again, professionally develop. So I think our reputation, our legacy, our focus on innovation and improvement at the bedside through our quality work, and then finally our academic affiliation are big reasons that nurses come to work here at Rush.
Thanks, Janet. And Quincy, can you tell us more about support services? What does that category mean at Rush?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think both Ryan and Janet really hit it on the head in terms of the reputation of Rush, the quality of Rush. I think there are a lot of individuals that really like to be a part of something great. And when you think about hospitals, you think about healthcare, the first thing that comes to mind would be like clinicians, physicians or nurses, but there are a lot of opportunities for non-clinical work within healthcare and specifically within Rush. And to Janet's point, it's all areas are so supported in terms of, opportunities to progress, opportunities to collaborate and think outside the box and think creatively. Just to run through a few of the departments that I'm responsible for. If you think about EVS, EVS works very, very closely with our clinical partners to ensure that we're providing the best experience for our patients. And what does that consist of? Making sure the room is clean, making sure it's clean in a way that it can possibly impact patient outcomes through, ensuring there are no infectious diseases in the room. So you're making an impact that's a lot more fulfilling than just, coming to work to get a paycheck. You're impacting someone's livelihood and the wellness and the quality of their care. Everyone loves food. In addition to the quality of care, you want to make sure that you're getting a nice meal. And within food services, that's a department that has done an outstanding job collaborating with our clinical partners to ensure the food is perfect for the patient. It supports the diet. It's the right temperature. All those things are very critical within, to ensure the experience is great here at Rush for our patients. And these individuals are not doctors. They're not nurses, but they're making a huge impact. When I think about security is responsible for keeping us safe. I can't tell you, how much feedback that I receive from visitors and patients in terms of, how grateful they are for the interaction with security and the support from security, as well as our staff. And lastly, our patient transport team. There are the guys and young ladies that really do a great job of interacting with our patients as they move them through our campus. They're very, very talkative. They get a really kick out of putting a smile on the patient's face, not knowing what they're here for. And that's just a great environment to work in. And again, the support service team here at Rush really get a kick out of knowing that they are impacting somebody's life in a way that may not be, operating, but it is contributing to the wellness of our patients.
A lot of those services you mentioned are somewhat imperceptible to patients, sometimes by design, but I can attest to the quality of the food from my stay there. Janet, you've told us a bit about what Rush does for the nurses that work there. Can you give us a little more information on how nurses are involved in the patient experience, what they contribute to the people who come to stay or seek treatment at Rush?
I have to unmute myself again. Be happy to, Lizzie. Thank you. I think that one of the most important concepts that we have here at Rush is something called shared governance. And that is really allowing the nurses and other members of the staff at the bedside to be involved or to participate in decision-making and actions around how we can improve things like quality outcomes. And I think what Quincy just referred to or related to with our support staff is an excellent example. We watch, for example, very closely to prevent hospital-acquired infections, like an infection from a catheter. And the cleanliness of the room absolutely participates in helping us to prevent an infection. People washing hands as they go in and out of the room absolutely is a factor in terms of helping to reduce infections. And one of the things I can honestly say at Rush is that with our nursing staff and our other members of the team, we have performance improvement teams that involve our staff, that sit down, look at the data with us as administrators and say, hey, let's talk about this as a particular option. When we talk about falls in hospitals very frequently occur in bathrooms. Our staff has really been able to come up with some creative solutions and suggestions around how we can have presence in and around the bathrooms, how we can do things to modify the environment so that there is less opportunity for somebody to fall and harm themselves. And again, you have to have the voice of the staff who are doing the care to be able to tell you what their ideas are for how to improve things because they're living that experience, they're living that moment. So again, nurses have a strong voice through shared governance in terms of our quality improvement initiatives. They have a very strong voice in terms of policies and procedures for how we set up our care. They have a very strong voice in terms of the patient and family education materials we use so that it's their work that hopefully is going to prevent somebody from coming back because they don't know how to take care of a catheter or they don't know how to take care of a surgical wound. So the voice of nursing is really, I think, very critical. The other thing that I think is really important to talk about is the fact that nurses, as well as, again, other members of the team that Quincy alluded to, work collaboratively around the plan of care. Historically, people thought plan of care just came from the physician, but plan of care is led by the physician, but really implemented by the physicians, the nurses, the dietitians, and the dietary staff, again, our rehab staff. And I think it's really important that folks that come to Rush understand we want to hear everybody's voice in terms of ideas for creating the best plan of care so that we can ensure that not only do people have great care, but they walk out of here and they say to themselves, wow, that was a great experience. People really cared about me. They really liked their jobs, and it shows.
Janet, one thing you mentioned that I'd like us to talk a little more about, you sort of paint a picture on the nursing side of a laser-focused attentiveness to constantly improving, small and large tweaks to fine-tune every facet of the patient experience and how you approach treatment. And I know that that is part of a larger organizational wide focus on excellence and quality. Ryan, I wonder if you can tell us a bit more about what those two words and that general ethos means for the organization as a whole.
Sure. Thank you, Lizzie. And, I've got the excellence poster here on display, but, excellence is a word we've been talking about for years. We did a lot of internal and external research to think about how we wanted to talk about Rush, because there's something incredible here. In the last few years, we've gotten really loud about it. And so several years ago, we landed on a newer tagline for the system. It's excellence is just the beginning, and excellence has been present. It's part of our iCare values. The word excellence itself, I'm unpacking the tagline for you. It really honors the standards that we set. It's just bedrock in everything we do. It's what, why, how. It's commitment, not just to patients and students, but that we make to each other. And so as Quincy and Janet are talking about that teamwork component is just so critical, that we expect that from each other, that we're all going to bring our A game and go where can you go from 100%? And that's the promise of it's just the beginning. We're going to keep going. And really that's, where other people are just trying to get to 100%. We really believe we're going to go beyond. And you're like, well, what, Lizzie, what is that? What is he saying? What does that mean? And, it's not just that we healed you. We improved your quality of life. We got you back to something. Our students come here and get their degree, but they also found a great calling for the community work that we expose them to. There's always something beyond what we promised in the delivery of care. And we build upon that. And that tagline has been a motivator for us, over the last several years, especially, and we hear it from everyone. Everyone has their own definition of what excellence means, and we're so happy that it's resonated with our staff and patients.
Thank you. Janet, I don't think it's at all surprising that you focused a lot in this conversation on what Rush does for its patients, but I'd love for you to tell us on the flip side what excellence at Rush means for the experience of your nurses, what Rush does for the people who work for the organization and do that, perform those services for its patients.
I'd be happy to. And again, one thing I'd like to say, Lizzie, that I think is really important about Rush is the vision that we all have of what Rush is going to be for patients and families and for the staff. And that comes from our leader, Dr. Omar Latif. And Omar's vision is that, first of all, that we're going to be tops in terms of quality around the country, that we're going to be delivering high quality, safe care to every patient, and we're going to be ranked in that way. And then the second piece of his vision for us is that patients are going to be satisfied and are going to want to come back because they know we're a high quality environment to have care, and that the staff are the people that are going to really ensure that they're going to have, again, a safe and an excellent opportunity as a patient and family. But his most important third piece is around staff engagement. And he's committed in his vision to being the place that engages their staff to the highest level, that people don't want to leave, that they want to stay here, and as we call it, bleed green. Because the longer you stay here, all of a sudden, you really are part of the green team and you bleed green. And I think some of the things that we really work on, again, here, and that I really love about Rush is one of the number one things is right now we're focusing a lot around wellness and resilience. There's a lot of changes in our healthcare environment, and recently we were able to put together with a wonderful donation a wellness center that's really dedicated to focusing on our staff, dealing on a day-to-day basis with the stressors of caring for patients and families in all roles. So the Wellness Center is something there, and we're focusing a lot on wellness as a way of really ensuring that our staff, our families, stays healthy and committed to working here. So I think that's number one. Number two, I already alluded to, our staff have great opportunities for professional advancement, whether we're talking about our colleges here, that you can go back to school and you can have opportunities to advance. We also get what are called LEAP dollars, so that all of us from the front line, all of the frontline workers get these LEAP dollars so that they can take courses or classes or participate in programs where, again, they professionally develop. We, again, I think are very effective in providing great benefits, whether we're talking healthcare benefits, childcare benefits, benefits that, again, once, really looks at the fact that, yes, we work here, but we are part of families and we are part of communities outside of Rush. So we have a great package in terms of benefits that we can offer all of our staff. I think, again, the other thing that's really important is that we work hard to stay very competitive with our compensation, because, again, we realize that our staff is our most valuable asset. And, again, our human resources and our comp and benefits department really kind of stay on top of that so that we stay competitive in relationship to the salaries. But I have to say, my favorite part about Rush, there's two favorite parts of Rush that are, again, things that I consider to be a big benefit, is that there's a lot of activity to, again, influence us as a family. We participate in activities every year like the AHA Heart Walk, and we participate in programming out in the community like runs on the West Side so that, again, we're visible and present to the West Side community, because that's part of our family as well. We're focused not only on the West Side as being people that use Rush for healthcare, but also as a source of people that are going to work here, and they're going to be our partners in providing care to our West Side community as well. So we do a lot of activities in the community. We do a lot of fun activities here at the hospital. We just recently had a great holiday celebration in which we got these really cool red, white, and gray T-shirts, and we always get fun food like, Garrett's popcorn. But there's a lot of effort to really focus on us as being a family of Rush, a family as part of the West Side community. And again, I think those are all things that we do, not just for nurses, but for our employees to really, again, make this a great place to work.
Thanks, Janet. Quincy, can you tell us a bit about what that commitment to excellence means and how it influences the culture within the support services team in particular?
Absolutely, and I think Janet nailed it. What she said really applies to the support service team as well. Again, to Ryan's point, excellence is just the beginning, and how do you continue to raise the bar from there? That's the hard part. But I can tell you that Rush truly embraces individuals that come into Rush with creative ideas, thinking outside the box. I mean, in order to continue to keep that bar raised, in order to continue to unlock value, we sometimes have to do things differently. So that's the one thing I really and truly enjoy, in addition to all the great things that Janet mentioned, working here at Rush, is, I get to explore my creative juices. I get to really think differently and try things that may haven't been done in healthcare before. But if it's a way to unlock value and it's a way to improve, the experience for our patients, this organization is open to it. And that's not just from where I sit. It's throughout my entire department, as well as Janet. Again, Janet and I, we have a great relationship and we work very closely together. But that's also the same for our team. Again, I think in order to maintain excellence, we have to be collaborative. Rush is a place of strong collaboration. I can't tell you the number of committees and task force teams that consist of both clinical and non-clinical parties to ensure that the experience that our patients are getting and the consistency of the quality that we are providing to ensure that's intact. We have multiple cross collaboration meetings to drive those sort of initiatives, and that's a big part of maintaining that excellence here at Rush. I mean, there's tons of support. There's tons of opportunities to across departments in terms of transferring skills. If you feel you can continue to add value in that way, this is just an organization that truly embraces creativity, truly embraces progression. Because again, who's going to benefit from that in addition to us? Our patients, and it is healthcare, and that's again is I would think the ultimate goal of all of us here at Rush, that we continue to contribute to our patients' experience, and we can do that in a variety of ways.
I'm sure there are a lot of different ways to define and measure success, but unquestionably, patient satisfaction is a really critical ingredient. Janet, I wonder if you have any recent insights on how Rush has been performing in patient satisfaction, particularly on the heels of, the recent, especially taxing years for the healthcare system?
You know, I have to say the interesting piece of our most recent experience with COVID was that our patient satisfaction scores actually skyrocketed during that period of time, Lizzie. And in large part, it was because the comments we received from patients and families were, thank you for making us feel safe while we were here. They were very definitely seeing, for example, our EVS workers walking around, making sure that our alcohol hand rinse containers were filled, that the surfaces were being kept clean, that staff were all washing their hands, wearing their masks. And again, it really gave us great reinforcement for the idea that folks come here and they rely on us, COVID or not, to have a really safe, high quality experience, and that they notice that all of our staff are participating in those efforts. Again, our goal is to be above the 90th percentile, regardless of where we're caring for patients and families, whether it's in ambulatory surgery, whether it's on our inpatient units, whether, again, it is through the anesthesia services that we provide. Our target is always to be in the top 10th percentile around the country for patient satisfaction and for quality. Again, we want to be part of the best. I think that's why another reason I really love Rush. We don't kind of settle for, well, I think the best we're going to be able to do is maybe get to the 50th percentile. Everybody here feels the imperative that we want to be the best. We're caring for the West Side community. They deserve the best. We're going to be the best. So again, one of the things that Quincy was talking about is our collaborative efforts around patient satisfaction. Patient satisfaction isn't just about the nurse in the room or about the doctor that's giving you the diagnosis. Some of our highest scores come, and some of our most effusive feedback comes around meals, as you indicated. Your dietary tray is one of the few things you have a control over when you're in a hospital. And it matters that Quincy's team remembers the jelly with the toast, that they come in with a smile and say, here, let me help you set this tray up, here, let me get you the straw. I mean, that personal touch makes a huge difference, and that is our food nutrition staff, because they really support our nursing staff when maybe our nursing staff can't be in there and do that for patients and families. Another great initiative and another big source of satisfaction is cleanliness. People notice if their room isn't clean, so we really work hard to round together our nursing leaders on the units, our EVS team that are dedicated to those units, to make sure that, again, we have toilet tissue, we have alcohol hand rinse, that, again, the surfaces are clean, that we walk in and we say, is there anything else we can do for you to ensure that you've got what you need, and is everything in this room to your satisfaction? That's our EVS team working with our nursing team. So it's really an exciting place to work, because we all realize, as Ryan alluded to before, we all matter in terms of the outcomes that we're creating for patients and families, regardless of what our role is.
It's great, Janet. If I could, I'm going to add to that. There were a lot of places over the last 2 years where you couldn't go, or things that were shut down. And for a brief period when COVID hit, we had to close a couple of things, but very quickly, within 6-8 weeks, we were open. And I think that satisfaction, I could see it as patients enter, and that gets at the some of the work of the support services and entering the facility, just how safe and professional it felt. We kept it together to welcome patients in an environment that was safer than the grocery store, safer than other wherever you go to get coffee. But I think there was an opportunity to lead there, and we received a lot of attention for it, and how we handled it, and became an example. And there's been a lot of education, and we built a playbook, and we talked about we're built for this. I don't know, Janet, if you already dropped that line as well, but it's that mindset helped us to help prepare us. And I think it's no surprise that patient satisfaction went up, because we took it very seriously. And when people arrive here, everyone gets a mask. Even still today, we're passing out masks, and we're ready to take care of people. So many people put off care during the initial wave of the pandemic that we just want them to know it's safe to come back, it's safe to get care. And I think consumers have done that, but we continue to maintain that seriousness for how we approach our facility. It's safe to work here.
Thanks, Ryan. We're going to open it up shortly to questions from the audience. So for our viewers, please keep them coming. Feel free to submit any questions you have for our panel or any individuals on our panel. But before we do that, I want to give each of you an opportunity to speak. You've kind of been representing your departments and your teams and Rush as a whole, but I want to hear from you as individuals about what keeps you at Rush, what, motivates you every morning to head into work and keep doing this job for as long as you all have been here. Quincy, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, sure, Lizzie. Again, I think the pride of Rush. The pride of Rush is extremely powerful. Again, to what Janet and Ryan alluded to, even with the pandemic, I think that's when you can see Rush at its finest. When there's an important task ahead of us, that's when you can really see the energy in this organization, where individuals will just rise to the occasion and to ensure that the job is getting done. And that is what keeps me really, really motivated and coming here every day, to know that, I work for an organization that prides itself on being the best in the country in various areas, whether it's a clinical area, whether it's support services, whether it's supply chain. We really, really pride ourselves on being recognized and being an industry leader in all facets of healthcare. And that's extremely motivating and exciting. I'm the type of individual who, the moment I feel like I'm on autopilot, I want to try something different that I think can bring value. This is the organization where you can actually do that. It really feeds those who are extremely hungry to do more within healthcare and to do more for our patients. So it's hard not to be excited every day to get up and know that, hey, there's either an initiative that I have in place, or I'm thinking about something new that I can put in place that can truly unlock value for our patients, and to know that it is for the quality of care, and to know that it is to really, really improve our patient satisfaction and to improve the wellness and the healing process for our patients is really, really satisfying.
Janet? Same question.
I think that what brings me back every day, Lizzie, is just the whole concept that everybody's contributions matter here at Rush. To me, being in healthcare my entire career, what's always been important to me is that every day I came in, I really think to myself, I can make a difference to somebody. I might make a difference to a visitor. I might make a difference to a patient. I might make a difference to a coworker. But I really feel like being in healthcare, you can make a difference. And the work that you do is work that will be with you and will be everlasting for the rest of your life. The thing that I think is really great about Rush is everybody makes individual contributions, but we are really all part of one team. And our team is so diverse. I'm really proud of the fact that, again, we've received awards at Rush for our work related to disability inclusion, related to our work with the LGBTQ community. Certainly, again, we're on the map in terms of our work with the West Side community. And again, embracing programs that bring our West Side community not just as patients, but as colleagues, as fellow coworkers. So I think for me, just the whole concept of everybody making a difference, that we're all one family, there's inclusivity, there's equity here on this campus, that's really what drives me to really promote Rush as being a great place to work. And again, I can't say it enough. I think our designations really speak to the fact that not just we think it's a great place to work, but external organizations are saying this is a great place to work. So thank you.
Lizzie, I would add to that, I love 7 a.m. meetings, and there's no shortage of those here. No, I'm kidding. No, it's no, every now and then there is one. You have to take care of people during the day, so there can be an early or a late meeting. But Quincy and Janet have said that it's the mission. I mean, beyond the care or education that we provide, I think you look at what we do, where we reinvest, and we're probably one of the first, if not, well, I don't want to say we're the first, but one of the first. Don't check me on this, to academic health systems to really make a difference, to really make health equity a strategic priority, so that we make sure everyone in the community we serve has a fair chance at a long and healthy life. And we partnered with the Sun-Times a few months ago to tell that story. So there's a great resource on your website already about the impact we've made through equity. And so I think that's it. I mean, we give back beyond the services you would think of coming from a medical center university. So thank you.
Thank you all for sharing your personal experiences and what motivates you. Now I'd love for us to hear from some other folks representing Rush, sharing their experience and why they love being a part of this community, the people at the heart of what Rush does. Brian, if you could roll the tape.
Started working at Rush July 2020, right in the heart of the pandemic. So, I was a little cautious and apprehensive. I feel like we all have a part to play, but in order for the patients to get to the OR, to get to the CT or the MRI or the ultrasound, they need us to take them there. Once the patients come out of the OR and they see us coming, they're all excited. The nurse is excited. The patient is ready to go to their room. And so that's a wonderful feeling. I'll be probably discharging another patient and I see a visitor of a patient that I had before and they stop me like, "Hey, are you Melvin?" And they say, "Thank you so much for being there for my father or my sister. It really meant a lot to me." And to me, when I hear that, all I can do is just be humble, and it warms my heart to let me know that one little small thing or gesture that I did was able to make somebody's day and make them smile. And in fact, remember me from only seeing me one time. So that's just like jaw dropping, and it makes me feel amazing. I came in the door thinking that, hey, it's a new job. It's a new time, what we're going through. And I feel like maybe I can change the atmosphere or change the hospital in itself. But in all reality, working at Rush, the medical center has actually changed me. It made me realize that life is delicate and it's precious. And sometimes just seeing patients there, it makes you realize how grateful you are and how, in fact, that you still want to continue to be helpful those that are having a bad moment in life. Started working at Rush July 20.
Thank you. I think that's just such a perfect encapsulation of what we've heard from the three of you about that infectious commitment to excellence and how motivating it is for people in every department, in every corner of the Rush healthcare system. Now we have a question from that was submitted from our audience that I'd love to throw to all three of you, whoever is best equipped to answer. Wernie Emmanuel asks, he says, "I graduated in 2008 with a master's in public health and health administration. I would love to work in the hospital setting, but have only found jobs working in nonprofit over the years. How can I position myself to be a competitive candidate in the healthcare field?"
I'll throw a line in, and I think we all have a perspective to add here. I didn't start in healthcare marketing. I came out of fundraising communications. I think you have to find what the commonalities are in your experience and strong cover letter it up, to say, here's how I think my experience applies to this job at Rush. I think you'll find that in many professionals here, including Quincy, who just told us earlier. So add on to that, Quincy, if you could.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Thanks. Again, I think healthcare and specifically Rush really accommodates different backgrounds and skill sets. Again, to Ryan's point, I came from the retail industry, and I can't say a lot of my success is actually a lot of the knowledge and the things that I've gained in retail and I brought over into healthcare. So I encourage any individual who hasn't worked in healthcare but is very interested to really look for opportunities and apply. I think that, again, I say this a lot because I do feel that, subconsciously, a lot of people just automatically start to think, doctors and nurses and the clinical field when you think of hospitals. I mean, it's sort of natural. But there are a lot of different opportunities for a lot of different skill sets that really applies within healthcare. So again, I'm a testament to that, and I feel I've been very successful within the healthcare industry, and a lot of that is what I brought from another industry that really worked within healthcare.
And what I would add, and again, I think I'm just building on Quincy's comments and Ryan's, but I do think it's really important that this individual sells him or herself in terms of what they have currently that will translate into a healthcare environment. So for example, I had an opportunity as a chief nursing officer in another organization to hire a guest relations coordinator. And the person that came in, similar to Quincy, was not somebody that had healthcare experience, but was working essentially in customer service in a company that produced, let's say, widgets. And Tom had an incredible opportunity to really share with me how he addressed people on the phone, how he helped people work through concerns or issues with a particular product. And I mean, I could really easily see how his experience would translate over to addressing patients and families that had concerns or issues in the hospital. So I think the most important thing is really being able to look at what you have and be able to translate it over into what would be potentially needed in a healthcare environment. And I can tell you, if this person has a public health background, public health professionals, man, they have got an incredible grasp on data. And data is where it is at now in healthcare because we are so technology focused. We're collecting data, again, as we alluded to before, related to quality improvement opportunities, patient satisfaction. So that individual should really sell us on how he or she can work with numbers, how he or she can analyze that data and help us identify trends and opportunities for improvement. I would say that that person's got a future in quality or performance improvement here at Rush if they look to apply.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, Janet, you covered a lot of the beyond the role, the volunteerism, the opportunities with some of the events and networking that we have. And there may be ways to get involved with Rush initially and have some exposure to us through some of those partnerships or meet Janet out on a heart walk over by Soldier Field, and strike up a conversation. So there's those opportunities too to sort of make a connection point.
There you go, Wernie. There's the whole outline for your cover letter. All right, we have another question from Diane Oros, who's joining us on our YouTube stream. She says, I couldn't be more passionate about joining RUMC. My question is, how do I create an opportunity in leadership?
Well, I'll start. Depending on what the role that Janice is trying to get in the door with, Rush recognizes the contributions people make, and wherever you're at. And I think through that team dynamic of coming together to solve or deliver on something, you'll be noticed. And I think that contributes to not just at Rush, I think that applies anywhere, but certainly you're on center stage. There are people who solve things and have opportunity to grow or jump departments and hopefully we can retain people and keep them growing. And so I think that's one fragment of it.
And just to add, I think leadership really comes in a lot of size, shapes, and forms. And one of the things that I really espouse is that our leadership starts at the front lines. When patients and families are commenting about the great care, they're not reflecting me or Quincy or Ryan respectively. They're talking about the leaders at the front line, the dietary staff, the nursing staff, the rehab staff, the respiratory staff. So you are a leader at the front lines when you're providing care for our patients and families. So that's number one. I think in terms of number two, we'd be really remiss if we didn't identify again the fact that our college, we have 4 colleges here right on the campus, and one of the probably the best known programs is our health systems management program for developing healthcare system leaders at the master's level. We certainly have nursing leadership programs, our clinical nurse leader program in nursing. So there's definitely formal opportunities to come back to school at Rush and again develop as a leader again through our academic programs. I do think we have a strong history here at Rush in terms of succession planning, bringing folks in, providing them the opportunity. Human Resources does leadership development courses so that we have the opportunity, whether it's related to finance or powerful communication opportunities or opportunities, again, to develop in terms of Lean, Six Sigma, or quality improvement, we offer professional development classes here so that, again, if I come in, even if I don't feel like I want to go to school, I have the opportunity to do classes and use those LEAP dollars that all of our employees get to, again, develop as a future leader. And again, the most important thing is getting involved. Our leaders start showing themselves early because they ask to be involved in committees, or they want to lead, a staff meeting, or again, they come in with an innovative or creative idea, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that Quincy, he's somebody I want to look out for because he's really got potential to grow here at Rush. So I think that's the third way, or the final way I would like to suggest that you could really look at becoming a leader here at Rush.
Yeah, Lizzie, and I'll just add, I think Janet and Ryan covered it all. Again, and I said this earlier, if you're hungry, this organization will feed you. If you want to progress, there are ways to do it. And again, just to add, I mean, we are definitely we're expanding at Rush. We're trying to expand our footprint. We want to expand our brand. And with that comes progression and comes other opportunities. So this place is not short of those who are truly in line and really wanting to progress within their career. I think to Janet's point, there are things that you can do to become. You recognize this is an organization that really loves to retain great talent. So again, the opportunities are there. It's just whether or not you're hungry for them.
Thank you for sharing that insight with Diane. And I have another question that I think is a great companion to that from Kimberly Edwards. She's asking, in terms of career advancement, what is the success rate we might expect to see for a medical assistant advancing through their career while working at Rush?
That's another question I can maybe kick off on. And this kind of speaks to some of the innovative partnerships that we've been able to really work on in our community with the assistance of Dr. David Ansel, who really is in charge of our Office of Equity and Diversity. We have a program that's called Beyond the Diploma, which is a pathway that we've been working on with community partners to bring in West Side residents into our MA program, our medical assistant program, and into our patient care tech or PCT program. And those are folks, the MAs are typically in our ambulatory area, our PCTs are typically on our patient care unit. But the goal of the program is to really provide opportunities, not just for immediate employment as MAs or PCTs, but career projection, so that again, I come in, I learn how to become a PCT or a medical assistant, and now I get exposed to all kinds of opportunities at Rush, whether, again, I want to go back to school and get a degree, perhaps as a nurse or a computer technician, or maybe, as Quincy said, I'm hungry and I see other opportunities that maybe are now in the arena of EVS or security or, again, information technology. But this program that, again, Dr. Ansel kicked off called Beyond the Diploma was really a concerted effort to begin to bring in again, folks from 18 to 26 in our community who are interested in working with Rush, developing professional careers here. So I think the goal is to get into the door, apply for something here at Rush. As Ryan said, get to know us, participate in some of the community events that we're working on collaboratively. And again, I think the opportunities will come from there.
Thank you, Janet. There's your pretty clear roadmap, Kimberly, for climbing the ladder and moving your career forward once you get in the door at Rush. All right, we're coming up on time. I would love to give each of you one last opportunity to share any final thoughts, any next steps you'd recommend someone interested in learning more about working at Rush might follow, or any other parting comments that you'd like to share with our audience.
Yeah, I would add, look at the, then you just showed Melvin's story. I mean, that was beautiful. And there are more. There's stories from nursing and medical assistants, really large opportunities that we have here. And there's so much happening in the world right now where people are looking for something different. And when you make that leap, spend a lot of time getting to know a little bit about the place you're going, to do research beyond what the job says. And there's so much rich content on our website, on our social media. There's just beautiful stories beyond the one that you just shared. And I think getting to, fall in love with, sort of match your values to where you could be going. And I think that will help you excel where you land. And I think we have so many opportunities for people to love what they do and grow in their career. So that's all I would add. Thank you. I'll let Janet and Quincy add to that.
Quincy, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. No, I agree with Ryan. I mean, if you want to be a part of an organization that truly believes in supporting its staff members, that truly believes in a team working environment, Rush is definitely the place. We are really in a position now where we're seeking talent. We want great talent. We're definitely looking for individuals who are passionate about their career, as well as passionate about what they think they can bring to the table for our patients. So again, if you are interested in healthcare, if you're interested in working in an environment where you can be creative, please click on the Rush website and apply. I can tell you now, within support services, I am desperately looking for great talent and looking to add to the winning team. So please go out and look to see what really accommodates your skill set. Come join us. Thanks,
and
Lisa.
I'll just add to very similar sentiments from Quincy and from Ryan, and I'm going to say it in a different way. We really need you. Healthcare needs you. Healthcare is not going away. Healthcare as an industry is only going to get bigger and bigger because our population is aging and the needs are there. And I'm going to tell you, when I listened to Melvin's statements, I almost get choked up because when I see the pictures and I listen to Melvin and I hear the impact that he had on patients and families have a tremendous impact on us as well. I mean, I still have cards and mementos from the time I was a staff nurse where I'd get a card and a family member would say something like, I couldn't have done this without you, or thank you so much for taking care of my child like you took care of one of your own. Getting those kinds of recognitions is the most important and life-changing experience you will have in your life. And to me, that's what healthcare is. So if you're thinking to yourself, gosh, what's my next step? Please think about choosing not just healthcare, but also choosing healthcare here at Rush, because we would absolutely love to have you be part of the team.
Thank you so much to our guests, Janet Stifter, Vice President of Hospital Operations for Perioperative and Interventional Services, Quincy Stanley, Vice President of Hospital Operations Support Services, and Ryan Naidman, Associate Vice President, Marketing Communications. You've heard their call. If you're ready to answer it, you can find open career opportunities at Rush University Medical Center listed at rush.edu/careers. For the Chicago Sun-Times, I'm Lizzie Schiffman-Chifano. Thank you for joining us.